My name's Justin Johnson. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, and I've been traveling aboard the Pinta here for a little over 17 months. Now am classified as the first mate aboard. We are on the Pinta here. The Pinta is a replica ship of Christopher Columbus's voyages, one of the second ships. The Niña there behind me on my right was the first one replicated in 1988 and finished in 1991, just a year before Christopher Columbus's 500th anniversary in 1992. We replicated the ships to kind of travel around and give people the enthusiasm of history, since history is, kind of dying nowadays. But no, we just travel around, give tours on board, make it a lot of fun for little kids, and teach all the importance of how the crew would have slept on deck, how the conditions were, and how really small these ships were going across the Atlantic Ocean. The Niña was started construction in 1988, finished in 1991. And then the Pinta here, about 14 years later, started construction in 2002 and finished in 2005. They were made in Valencia, Brazil, by 20 shipwrights, Portuguese shipwrights to be exact. They have the 8th generation Portuguese shipwrights. Pretty much they're master shipbuilders of the time period. Down there is the only way that they actually construct or even construct the caravels now. Everybody else can copy it, but no one can actually form it like they can. Down there, it's pretty much their natural vessel. And just by looking at them, a lot of people say they're quite small. They are, in fact, quite small. The Niña here is only about 65 feet long by about 18 feet wide and only draws 7 feet in the water. So in comparison to a lot of the other tall ships today, she is very small, maybe a third of their size, to even a smaller fraction to some of them. But the Pinta here is actually replicated a lot larger than her counterpart was. She's about 20% increase, and she stands about 85 feet long by about 24 feet wide. But they both draw the same. That's why that we can crawl all the way up to the rivers and then tour them up here, where a lot of tall ships can't. We take them all over the Eastern Hemisphere, United States. That's why we call ourselves the North American Tour. We travel from the Gulf Coast, Atlantic Coast, Hudson River, Erie Canal, and start going through the Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, and then we start heading down the Illinois River, going to the Mississippi, or going down the Tinton Waterway back to the Gulf again. Once you sign aboard as a crew member, you actually eat, sleep, and work as a normal crew back then. Of course, we don't have you sleeping on the deck like they did in 1400s, but of course you have a bunk and a galley and a kitchen down below and a head, which is a bathroom. So pretty much everything that's a necessity for sleeping on board, kind of like a mobile RV down below. Last year I did the Great America Loop, America's Great Loop, and it took me 10.5 months to do it. Yeah, it wasn't very long. We traveled from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio again, with West Virginia, and even to Pennsylvania. And then started heading back down to Mississippi and then back to the Gulf to Florida again. We dry dock in Mobile, Alabama for the wintertime, last month of the year. And that's where we pretty much bring the ships out of the water, let them dry for a few days, and then we start scrubbing the barnacles, restaining, painting, replacing minor damages, and of course even replacing some of the line that's been damaged also, and then just do annual maintenance on board the ships. And then we head off again. Making it sail. We can have about 3 crew members sail the ship pretty easily, but between 3 crew members and the kind of shifts that you would take, it'd actually be very exhausting. So we have a crew of about 8 on board nowadays, and it's simple, just manning the tiller system, same system they used back in the 1490s. And then of course, we have engines to get up the rivers, Coast Guard requirement nowadays. But just because we have the engines doesn't mean we actually still use the sails. So we actually have the opportunity when we get out in the Great Lakes, of course the Gulf Coast and Atlantic Coast, and also some of the smaller lakes like Kentucky Lake or Pickwick and we'll have those chances hopefully to sell in those. Sometimes we have those possibilities of the dam might be damaged and in process of repairing. We had that problem on Lock 16 a few weeks back, about 4 weeks back, about a month ago. It was under some minor repairs, but it took us 21 hours just to sit outside just before we can get through it. So sometimes it can be a bump in the system, but somehow we still make it through and still make it on time. Welcome aboard, enjoy, have a great time, learn a lot, and go back in time.